Claude Monet, the renowned Impressionist painter, had a genuine fascination with nature. This, in addition to his interest in Japanese wood carvings, resulted in Monet's addition of a Japanese-style garden to his home in Giverny. Many of Monet's most popular and successful paintings were of his Giverny garden. Monet's paintings, Water Lilies and the Japanese Bridge, the Rose Arches, Giverny, and Water Lilies were all done in his gardens. They all display his impressionist style, short, choppy, and rapid brushstrokes, an appearance of spontaneity, and a focus on nature.
Monet's painting Water Lilies and the Japanese Bridge depicts a bridge in Monet's garden. He created the garden in the style of a typical Japanese culture and thus included a Japanese bridge. The painting also shows water lilies, which Monet was well known for. They became a recurring image in his works. The color palette is mostly all green, centered on the bridge and the trees. The painting is very textured and appears to be done quickly, with loose, rapid brushstrokes. Monet, as is many of his paintings, tried to convey the effect of light on the surface of the water at the time of the day when he painted. This painting, Rose Arches, focused on the rose arches in Monet's garden at Giverny, uses a color scheme of mostly light green, yellow, and pink. Like his other works, Monet uses rapid brushstrokes. Though the arches are the subject of the painting, they are set in the background, leaving the foreground empty and creating the sense of an unbalanced composition. Monet, fascinated by nature and the effect of natural light on different scenes, did many paintings of water lilies. This painting uses a lot of deep, vibrant blue, a color favored by Monet in many of his paintings. He gives the painting an unbalanced composition by placing the majority of the water lilies, which are the subject of the painting, in the bottom right corner. This also shows the spontaneity valued by the Impressionists, as it gives the appearance that this was not a planned or staged scene, but that this was how the water looked naturally.
Monet's work was very typical of the Impressionists. He painted quickly and used loose brushstrokes. Pastel colors played a major role in his work, accenting the effects of changing light on the natural world. All three paintings contain water, yet it is portrayed in different ways. In the first, there is a lot of dark green. In the second, Monet used more light green and some pink, while the third shows water that is deep, vibrant blue. Also typical of the Impressionist style was the unbalanced composition of Monet's works. In the second painting, arches are set in the background, leaving the foreground empty. Similarly, the majority of the water lilies in the third painting are placed in the bottom right corner, giving the viewer a sense that is exactly how the scene looked and was not arranged to appear balanced. Monet often painted with a wet on wet technique in which he applied paint to already wet surfaces.
Claude Monet was born in 1840 and died in 1926. Within this period of time, Monet accomplished a lot. He had become a famous painter and sparked a movement. He was influenced by Japanese art such as woodcuts and prints, just as other Impressionist painters were. But Monet was influenced so much by Japanese art and culture that he modeled his garden at Giverny after a typical Japanese garden with just a few modifications. Many of Monet's paintings were influenced by his Japanese-style garden. Another influence of Monet and many other Impressionists was the widespread creation of many beautiful parks in Paris. Monet is an interesting example of an Impressionist artist because he was the artist who first sparked the creation of this movement. His painting, Impression Sunrise, was the painting that started Impressionism. Monet is a perfect example of an Impressionist artist because within his paintings he includes all the Impressionist techniques.
In the late 19th century, when Monet painted, Baron Georges Eugene Haussmann wanted to rebuild and beautify Paris. He tripled the number of trees in Paris and increased the amount of park space from 47 to 4,500 acres. The invention of paint tubes, which could be easily carried from one place to another, allowed artists to create realistic depictions of nature as they saw them. Monet's garden was modeled after a typical Japanese garden, as Japanese culture had a major influence on European culture at this time. He also did several paintings of trains which related to the industrialized society in which he lived.